The Southwest. Howdy, or buenos dias, as many say here in the Southwest. My name is Luis. I will be your guide as we explore the Southwest region. We will visit the states of Texas, Oklahoma, New Mexico, and Arizona. But you don't need to pack your backpack. You can stay right there in your chair and let your imagination do the traveling. What do you think we will see? Do you think the Southwest will be different from where you live? How might it be different? How might it be the same? First, we will explore what the land of the Southwest is like. I'll show you some of my favorite places. Then we'll see what kind of jobs people have in the Southwest. Finally, we'll meet the people of the region. I hope you enjoy the trip. Let's go. Chapter 1, The Land. The largest. The Carlsbad Caverns in New Mexico are a series of huge underground rooms called chambers. The largest chamber is about the size of 5 football fields. The caverns were formed millions of years ago. The driest. The Southwest is the driest region in the United States, but that doesn't mean it has no water. Underneath parts of the Southwest is the Ogallala Aquifer. It is one of the largest underground stores of water in the world. It is about 174,000 square miles. The Ogallala Aquifer supplies much of the Southwest with water. The sunniest. The Southwest is the sunniest region in the United States. The Sonoran Desert. We'll begin our travels in the Sonoran Desert in southern Arizona. It is very hot and dry, but plants and animals live in the desert. Colorful wildflowers and prickly cactuses grow here. Some cacti grow as tall as 4-story buildings. Here you might see a roadrunner chasing after a rattlesnake. They like it here. The Colorado River. The Colorado River is one of our country's longest rivers, flowing across 1,450 miles of land. It forms part of the Arizona border. The river is swift and sometimes wild, with many rapids and waterfalls. A bumpy raft trip down the Colorado is a popular tourist attraction. The river carries something else besides people: sand and pebbles. Over millions of years, the gritty river water carved away at layer after layer of rock. The river carved deep canyons into the land, forming the greatest canyon of them all, the Grand Canyon. The Grand Canyon is my favorite park. The canyon is almost 300 miles long, 18 miles wide at its widest point, and about 1 mile deep. If a skyscraper were built at the bottom of the canyon, it would have to be 440 floors high to reach the top. That's 4 times higher than the Sears Tower in Chicago, the tallest building in the United States. Let's hike down the Grand Canyon. We can read the rocks to find out about millions of years of Earth's history. Some rocks in the very deepest part of the canyon may be as old as 2 billion years. As we hike down from the top of the canyon, we can read each rock layer like a book. Near the top is a layer of gray stone that was once the bottom of a warm, shallow sea. This layer is from the age of dinosaurs. Below that, you can see footprints from ancient reptiles who once walked across hot desert sands. Lower still, you can see even more fossils. Fossils are skeleton of some of Earth's oldest plants and animals pressed into the rock. At the very bottom of the canyon are traces of ancient mountain ranges. Meteor crater. Not every landform takes millions of years to develop. Meteor crater was made in minutes. Meteor crater is 3/4 of a mile wide and almost 600 feet deep. It was gouged out long ago when a gigantic meteor slammed into the earth. I'm glad I wasn't around to see that. Now onto the plateaus. This landform rises steeply above the surrounding land. The plateau region. In this region, the land takes on some fantastic shapes. Wind and water has eroded or worn away the huge Colorado Plateau. The small, flat-topped landforms and towers of rock that were formed are called mesas and buttes. Some rise 1,000 feet straight up. Adding dramatic color to this region is the Painted Desert. For almost 150 miles, it looks like an artist has drawn lines of blue, lilac, red, and yellow in the rocks. But all of this beauty is natural. The desert is especially beautiful at sunrise and sunset when the colors are the brightest. A place you can't see, but it is there, is the Great Divide. On one side of the Great Divide, all rivers flow east into the Gulf of Mexico and the Atlantic Ocean. On the other side, all rivers flow west into the Pacific Ocean. Mountains of rock. The land is getting much higher now. It is almost 5,000 feet higher than it was at the Colorado River. Off to the north are the peaks of the Great Rocky Mountain Range. The Rockies are young for mountains. Young mountains are tall and have sharp peaks. As mountains age, their peaks erode. Old mountains are rounded and lower. If we were to stand at the foot of the Rockies, we would be 6,000 feet above sea level. Wheeler Peak, New Mexico's highest mountain, is 13,161 feet. At these heights, winter snows might begin in September or even in August. All winter long, the snow piles up, making this area a snowboarder's paradise. The rivers. Each spring, the snow melts and water trickles down the mountains. Brooks flow together to form rivers. The Rio Grande, which is Spanish for Big River, begins to the north in the Rocky Mountains of Colorado. In New Mexico, the river flows out of the mountains. It passes through rugged canyons and onto flat plains as it journeys to the Gulf of Mexico. For 1,240 miles, it forms the border that separates Mexico from Texas and the United States. But for its entire length of 1,885 miles, the Rio Grande provides water for the people, plants, and animals that live along it. The Southwest has other rivers, too. The San Juan and Pecos rivers supply New Mexico with water. The Arkansas River is the main river in Oklahoma. The Red River borders Texas and Oklahoma. Texas has over 5,000 square miles of inland water. The Southwest may be dry, but it's wet, too. Landform that stretches from South Texas north into Canada. The rolling grassland slopes gently down from the foot of the Rocky Mountains to the woodlands of eastern Oklahoma and Texas. Thousands of barking prairie dogs built towns that stretched for miles. Early settlers had to travel all the way around a prairie dog town. Their horses or oxen could break a leg in the prairie dogs' holes. The Great Plains is the home of grass-loving animals. Once, huge herds of buffalo roamed these plains. Native Americans and early settlers hunted buffalo. In the 1800s, buffalo herds were so thick that they stopped wagon trains for hours. It was like today's traffic jams. Talking about traffic jams, it's time to move on. Let's see how the people in the Southwest use the land and the region's natural resources to earn a living.